welcome to another exciting episode of Haven't Seen with me, Adrian. Today I'm joined by returning album champion Andrew and movie champion Angela. Fun note, we are now available on iTunes, so don't forget to subscribe and rate. Check out all available content on haven'tseenorheard.com and follow on Facebook or SoundCloud at Haven't Seen or Heard and Twitter at Haven't Seen Heard. Okay. We're talking today about The Rock, 1996's Michael Bay pre-explosion.
I don't know about that. There were some pretty ridiculous explosions in here.
Well, there's less than there have been recently.
That's fair.
But it's produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Surprise. His name's on, I think, everything that was made in the action realm over like this 2-decade period. So I've continuously been told I need to watch this. And I legit have no idea what it was about. So
terrorism.
That's exciting. So what was the last thing everyone saw before watching this? What was the last movie you saw?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Hurricane Bianca.
Man, I haven't sat down and watched a movie in a long time. I've been stuck on shows. I've been watching Vikings. It's pretty good.
That's exciting.
It is.
And the last movie I watched was Rogue One, and also the first 21 James Bond movies during a winter binge.
True story.
Which leads us nicely into this movie because the OG Bond, Sean Connery, is a star.
Which, I'll tell you now, I have a hypothesis about his character in this movie.
Is it related to James Bond?
It is related to James Bond.
Okay.
Late in the movie, he is talking to Goodspeed, and he tells him that he was trained by the British intelligence. And that's all we know, is that he worked with British intelligence. I think he's an old James Bond. Just saying.
Well, it stated earlier that he was part of SAS.
Was James Bond part of SAS?
No.
Oh, he was a sailor, huh?
Yeah, James Bond is a naval commander.
Oh, shit. There goes my hypothesis. Never mind. I was so stoked and so excited when I thought
Blown out of the water.
Ah.
Sorry.
That was a long-lived hypothesis.
Yeah.
About, 30 minutes. But those were really good 30 minutes.
Well, my expectations were over-the-top action and a lot of mumbly Connery dialogue that no one can understand. And, of course, Nick Cage overacting everything.
That's kind of the best part of it.
So, you want to get into it?
No.
Are we not already?
Okay, we're done.
Yes.
So the beginning was kind of boring and normal.
The beginning opens with a explosion.
Yeah, typical Michael Bay.
Yeah. So normal and boring.
And then a funeral.
It was like a soldier funeral, flag folding, a lot of rain.
No context whatsoever.
Nope.
And then I realized at this point already that I did not know there was like any military basis for this movie. So I had it pretty much wrong from the start.
What was your idea of what this movie was?
I have no idea.
Except that it wasn't about the military?
I knew that it was based in Alcatraz.
I think the title kind of gives that away.
This is true.
Is that really the nickname or for Alcatraz is The Rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dwayne The Rock Alcatraz Johnson.
Dwayne.
So yes, we meet the military guy who is obviously important because his jacket is nothing but metals. I don't know if you noticed that, but his entire front side is just like metals all the way down it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's unsurprising for someone who did, 4 tours in Vietnam, was it, that it had him as?
Yeah, and he's older.
Yeah.
He's had time to do stuff. I mean, he's had time to just collect them.
Yeah, which that leads me to one of my notes about him having the Congressional Medal of Honor. I think that's way too overused in all these action movies. Like, everyone's got a Medal of Honor. Everybody gets it. Medal of Honor for everyone.
You get a medal, and you get a medal.
Exactly. It's like Oprah's giving these out.
Well, it makes everyone in the military feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And there was still no context when they get to, like, ninja soldiers in the rain.
Oh, yeah. I had a question about that. Military. So as they're pulling up to the like this, I don't know where they're at, where they're going to go get those like weapons. There's this giant sign that says Naval Weapons Depot, like super big on the side of like
the building.
Would that like be something that they advertised? Like, here are naval weapons.
I mean, if they're already on a military facility, then it could be advertised as like weapons depot, but it's not really terribly likely.
I mean, assuming that you're in the military and you're on the base, you should know already, right?
Well, I mean, they have to have a directory of where you're going, and it's not really like... It's more of like a storage depot, but it's specifically for weapons, so, I mean...
Is that what a weapons storage depot is?
It is, yes. Yes, contrary to popular belief.
Well, the weapons depot was confusing because it was... As they're infiltrating it, it kind of just seemed like inexplicably shaped and climate-controlled rooms full of different stuff.
It was chemical weapons.
Yeah, well, that is kind of what storage depot is all about.
Yeah, but like one room was like a normal room, and then they just go through like a blast door type of thing, and it's all of a sudden like a refrigerator room.
Well, yeah, chemical storage is usually refrigerated.
Yeah, it just seemed like there would be more hoops to jump through to get to like the refrigerated area.
Well, a blast door is a pretty big hoop.
Well, it didn't seem to be a hoop.
Well, because they had an access card. Jeez, man, were you not watching this movie?
They've hacked the system.
They're hacking the system.
And we find out pretty quick that those missiles are full of plague balls, pretty much.
Yep. Great scene. The guy's skin melting off in the window as they leave him
He
behind.
got like boils.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Very, very graphic.
And then we're cut to the scene with Nick Cage, who...
is apparently smart enough to be an FBI lab tech.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, like it's hard?
I've already lost the willing suspension of disbelief there. So he gets to demonstrate his skills with the doll breathing death gas.
It was the bomb baby.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was pretty good because the amount of panic going on seemed pretty realistic.
They pressured that guy so hard. They're like, shove it in your chest, like stick the needle in your heart.
Yeah, well, you would have pretty much the same amount of panic when someone's telling you to either stab something into your chest or die as your suit melts off. I mean, It's not something you're just going to be like, oh, okay.
But the two other techs that stayed behind were pretty hardcore because the one guy was just like, seal us in. No hesitation.
Well, yeah.
As everyone was running out of the room, he was just like, seal us in.
Job dedication there.
Yeah.
That's more dedication than the guy who was protesting the size of the needle that was going to go into his heart.
He was an intern, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like... Well, he wasn't an intern, but he was like a trainee.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah. Same thing.
But what I like about this movie, and throughout it, they also find a way to like add humor to it. Like, because you're kind of laughing as this is happening because he's funny, but like you shouldn't be because they're about to die and have their skin melted.
Well, you're laughing because Nick Cage is just basically being crazy as shit the whole time.
No, I don't think at the beginning he is crazy. I feel like he's pretty, it like progressively gets crazier.
Yeah, he does
throughout
progressively
the movie.
get crazier through the movie, but in this scene, he's still like going nuts.
Well, can you imagine the high stress job that is?
No. But it's fine because then we get to go to a scene where Nick Cage is just hanging out nude on the couch playing guitar.
Well, yeah, you gotta do something relaxing after a high-stress situation like that.
I didn't need it.
And then his girlfriend comes in and makes it high stress again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you had a stressful day? Let me pile more stress onto that.
Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. He's like, but we're not even married, as if that changes the fact that she's pregnant.
Oh, suddenly I'm no longer pregnant.
Yes.
And then she's like, I'm Catholic and I'm not married and pregnant.
She doesn't go there yet.
Isn't that the same scene?
No.
No, it's on the roof.
No, but she proposes to him, which is how progressive of her. For being Catholic, that's pretty
Indeed,
progressive.
especially in, what, 96?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because then we cut to the tour of Alcatraz with the most annoying person ever, Ranger Bob.
Ranger Bob.
Oh, I wrote Tour Guide Bob.
And it's the world's worst tour because everyone's locked in their cells.
I kept thinking during this scene where what do we call them, bad guys? Are they bad guys?
They're, well...
Terrorists?
They're terrorists or mercenaries or rogue military personnel.
We haven't found out yet why they're doing it, but how did they get all of their supplies to the island? Because they really like set up this major operation with motion centers, like everything.
I think it stated somewhere kind of offhand that they were there under the guise of something. I can't remember what it was.
Some official military operation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they're still in the
missed that.
military. No one knows that they're off the rails.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense then.
And that one like lady in the cell that was like, I wish I'd brought my gun. Today, I think she would have had her gun on her anyways.
Probably.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago. I think she would have been automatically packing in 2016.
Those guys were very sweet hostage takers because he was kind to them. He like made the little girls like get off the island, and he was like being nice to them, making sure they knew that they were okay.
It was never their intent to harm
Hurt people.
Well,
Yeah.
it was never the main guy's intent. Those other guys were full on kill mode.
He was the organizer.
Which
Yeah,
his name was General Hummel?
Well,
Hummel?
think of him as kind of like a presidential candidate that like says a lot of stuff that he wants to do, but then won't actually follow through on any of it. But all the people that follow him into that scenario actually want to do all that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of people that you're gonna hire out of that to under that sort of guise is you should really be expecting that you're signing on some fucking wackos.
Yeah, they'll be worse than you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So are these people I wrote, are they terrorists, traitors, or patriots?
All of the above.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because now this is where we find out why they're doing it. And why they're doing it is actually like not
Yeah, it's
Makes
kind
him less of a bad guy.
It's kind of a dumb way to get what you want.
true.
It's kind of a moral gray area.
Yeah.
Just like the military.
But they're doing it for the justice for all soldiers who died
Unnamed.
unnamed. And they're asking
By
for
choice.
So they could all get a Congressional Medal of Honor.
Well, he's asking for money
toss a
to the
couple on the
families.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Which overall, how much money was he asking for?
He was asking for like what was it, $87 million
Yeah.
for the unnamed dead soldiers, and then the rest of the money for him and his guys.
So a total of what?
100 million.
100 million.
Right there, the movie should have been over because yes, okay, whatever, you don't negotiate with terrorists, but it's so much easier just to pay them like the small amount of $100 million.
Oh, especially for the costs that they like occurred during their mission to the
You mean
island.
on all the payments that they're going to be making to the families of all the dead operatives that went in to go stop them?
Or the
Yeah.
when they destroy the entire city in the Humvee Ferrari chase?
Well, that probably wasn't near as much as $100 million in damage.
You don't think?
Nah.
There was quite a few explosions. You don't think one person died?
Well, the unnecessary, unrealistic explosions. It's a real car taps a Bronco and the whole city block explodes. That's how volatile vehicles are.
So basically, I mean, our head guy is kind of a whistleblower in a sense. So he's like pre-Snowden, but with a gun. Do you think he'd be into WikiLeaks?
Probably. Hard to say. Because, I mean, he still wants to keep everything on a hush-hush. I mean, he still wants to keep it classified.
But he also wants... See, he wants everything.
Justice! But quietly.
So he's threatening to send the gas to San Francisco
Yes.
in order for $100 million?
Yep.
Okay.
But it's not all for him, so...
True.
What a good guy.
I know, right? So, like, is he a bad guy?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
He had a lapse of judgment for a long period of time while he was planning all this.
So this is where they're on the rooftop.
Yep.
Back to Nick and his now girlfriend, pregnant girlfriend. They're having sex. He gets a phone call.
And answers the phone while still balls deep.
Yep.
A very important phone call, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I can understand if it was
it's my
like, oh,
job.
it's a buddy, but like, oh, this is my boss.
Who works for the FBI.
Yeah.
And his face is awful.
I don't think anyone's sex faces.
Well,
Yeah, but it's Nick Cage.
yeah,
Sex
it's Nick
face.
Cage, and his
Well,
face
what are
is
you
already
expecting?
questionable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his girlfriend's so worried about being Catholic and him not wanting to marry her, but she was already having unwed sex anyways.
Well, that's
So
Catholicism
she's
for
not
you.
a very good Catholic.
Is anybody really a good Catholic?
What is good?
Let's not go there.
Connery comes in as the hardcore SAS guy.
Yay!
Who's been more unlawful military operations, imprisoning a guy for like 3 decades with no trial.
Yeah,
They erase his identity.
That was
the SAS
Was
that
that-
erased
oh.
his identity.
Yeah.
Which I'll talk about later. But I thought there was an interesting kind of, they erased his identity, yet he's very easily found by tracking his daughter.
The whole daughter thing seemed kind of unnecessary. It didn't really add anything.
Oh, I think they only did that scene so they could have the car chase through San Francisco.
Well,
They're like, how can we add a scene where he escapes in a car chase? Oh, he has a daughter now.
that, and they probably wanted to make him seem a little more likable.
It's Sean Connery. I'm pretty sure he's already likable. We don't need that.
Well, his character may not be the most,
Charismatic.
yeah.
I thought he was super charismatic.
He's psychotic.
No, he's not. He's smart and intelligent
Especially
and
with
clever.
that hairstyle he was rocking.
Yeah, I'm sure his hairstyle was by choice.
Before or after the haircut?
Before.
Do they not cut hair in prison?
You do.
Well, probably not in secret military prison.
Well, it could have been by choice.
Secret, unjust military prison.
It wasn't just.
Black site.
We know what he did. We find out in the end. So
Well, having Nick Cage question him seems like it would be against protocol.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a note about that. That seems really unrealistic.
I'm pretty sure someone would be losing their job by putting him in the room.
Oh, most definitely. Especially something that classified.
To question a man that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And if anyone noticed, when Connery asks for the coffee, and then Nick Cage does the, Nick Cage thing and screams for coffee, no one walks into the room yet. And, you turn around after a few cuts, and there's, magically a cup of coffee on the table.
you're observant. I did not notice that.
No.
No one noticed that?
No.
Yeah, there was just, a cup of coffee magically in front of Connery on the table.
Oh, this is the FBI. They got magic shit up their sleeves.
On that note, can you really take a quarter and cut a hole in glass like he did?
That would be something you'd have to myth bust.
There's a couple myth bust moments in this movie.
Yeah.
A couple, yes. Only the 2.
I mean, it was something sharp enough, and if you did cut a complete circle into the glass, it would create a weak spot in the glass, so if you hit it hard enough, then it would shatter, but...
But how sharp is a quarter?
Well,
He got stamped. He
Yes.
stamped it underneath his chair and sharpened the edge of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, he's kind of like MacGyver Bond.
McBond.
Yes, McBonder.
He's just an old version of James Bond.
Kind of. It's kind of weird.
How so?
Just because I feel like they picked him specifically just because they wanted him to be James Bond in this movie.
My hypothesis was that it was James
Yeah.
Bond.
They wanted the bondage factor.
Yes. He gets out. He wants the feel of a suit, which also is your James Bond tie.
I know. Yep.
Did anyone notice that when Nick is on the cell phone, in the van or whatever, when they're transporting Connery, that he's wearing the most gigantic ring?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my god. He's wearing a planet on his hand.
Which finger?
His right hand.
I didn't notice it. Also, why is Cage riding with him? Why are they even associated, those two? Because he's a chemical guy who doesn't even think he's going to be going to the Rock. Yet they have him with Sean Connery.
I think they know he's going, but he doesn't know he's going.
Oh. But still, why would he be in the back of the van with Sean Connery?
I don't know. Get them all buddy so that Mason would give out more information.
It's also a movie.
Well, that too.
And this is the point in the movie where I figured out that in the true Nick Cage spirit, it is going to be just us watching Cage and Connery try to out-insane each other.
Yeah, but I feel like it still took quite a while for Cage to rear his fucking weirdo head.
Yeah,
I
it's a nice
agree.
slow burn.
I think it was a full hour into the movie before he got full-blown crazy.
Well, the stress of it.
Well, before that, we get to relax a little bit. We get to watch Connery get his haircut
Ripping stuff.
by the gayest stylist ever.
Stereotypical
Yep.
flamboyant stylist.
It is San Francisco.
I suppose he drives a Miata too.
And everyone's favorite part of the movie, which was the Humvee and Ferrari chase.
Which was so unrealistic.
And was mostly just Humvee. There wasn't a whole lot of Cage driving the Ferrari.
Yeah, well, with a car as slow as a Ferrari chasing a Humvee, it takes some time to catch up.
Yeah, that's true.
This has that bus scene that was absolutely ridiculous.
Bus?
Or that
Streetcar
that gets shot straight up.
Yeah.
Like, by flames and then falls back down. And everyone happened to make it off the bus before this happened.
Streetcar,
sorry.
It's a bus with rails.
Rail bus?
I also caught a glimpse of a Dare sticker on the back of one of the cop cars, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's not working.
They don't do Dare anymore.
No, because it didn't work. It's almost like feeding terror into children about something doesn't help them not want to do it.
What does Dare stand for again?
It's just like Dare to keep kids off drugs.
I thought it was an acronym.
Yeah, it was an acronym for something, I remember. It's kind of like how telling people not to have sex to prevent them from having sex doesn't prevent them from having sex.
Yes, because then they're like, oh, why shouldn't I do this? Let's find out. It's drug abuse resistance education.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't work.
So this is where Mason escapes. For someone who is unknown and doesn't exist, it takes them like 30 seconds to track him down. He goes to the one person that they can track him to.
Well, he wasn't trying to escape.
So that's why I was wondering, do you think he was trying to escape, or do you think he knew that he was going to get caught?
No, he knew he was going to get
Yeah.
caught. That's why he said, I don't have a lot of time. He just wanted to say, what's up?
What's up, kid? I'm your dad.
And she didn't really seem too fazed by the entire encounter with him.
Because this has happened before. She said something about how, like, the police had come and gotten him before.
She wasn't really that angry either, though. She was just kind of like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that's dad for you.
At this point, it's actually been a really long time. I felt like the movie kind of forgot about the whole terrorist plot line a little bit. Mm-hmm. So then they start up this operation to go in, send Connery and Cage in with a SEAL team. The best SEAL team in the country is backing him up. So, do you think this SEAL team will last shorter or longer than SEAL Team 6? Spoiler, this team lasts shorter.
Well, shit happens.
This is very true.
This is where Nick starts getting a little bit spastic when he's in the helicopter. I don't know if you noticed, but he was just
Well, he doesn't know how to swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's scuba diving.
Yeah, it mentions a few times that he doesn't swim.
But he does perfectly well once they get in the
and
water.
there's actually, they make a big deal about him not being able to swim, but then there's not really any shots of him struggling.
Well, it
It's just
doesn't say he doesn't know how to swim, it's just that he's not a good swimmer.
Pretty sure his girlfriend said to someone at the command center he can't swim.
Oh, he is also swimming with a bunch of people that are highly trained and basically live in the water.
On the helicopter, one of the guys, like, as they're getting ready to, like, jump out of the plane, gives him that shot and explains to him that he needs to shoot himself in the heart in case he comes across the chemical, or if he does come across the chemicals. Yet, we know in the first scene, he knows he needs to do this. So he's telling a chemical...
He refused to do it the first time, and so they're reminding him that he really needs to do it in case it happens.
Was it the best timing to, like, give someone a shot as they're about ready to jump off of a helicopter?
Yeah, I feel like that would have been included in the prep time before
Agreed.
they left.
I think it was just a reminder to us audience that, hey, this might come up again.
Well, it seemed like a reminder strictly to Nick Cage. It didn't really seem like they told everyone else, oh, this guy's a chemical weapons expert. We should explain to him what this is.
Not anyone else on the team.
Now they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, no one else on the team got one. It was just him and Connery that got one, right?
Well, that doesn't seem very fair because they're going to be together, and what they say was the foot radius on that.
But the only person that's going to be able to disarm the chemical weapon is Nick Cage.
Yeah, the SEALs were expendable.
Yeah, you got to watch their budgets.
I mean, that shot's probably pretty expensive, so... Connery/Mason, I don't know. I've just been calling him Connery the whole time. It's easier.
Yeah.
He has the worst cut balaclava I have ever seen. It's like
that was pretty bad.
It's like a convenience store, like, smash and grab job. Like, it has, like, enough eye hole room for, like, 3 people's eyes.
What goes on at Alcatraz where they have flame shooting wheels, tunnels, coal mines, train cars,
Yeah.
Oh, they designed Alcatraz after a video game level.
Early day video games were pretty horrific.
Yeah, the like dodging the spinning blades in the furnace with like timed flames.
Yeah. It's got, this special sequence to it.
Yeah.
Also, what the hell did he need a balaclava for to get through that?
No idea.
Case the flames.
Just in case his face caught on fire.
Yeah. Better at singe his shitty balaclava than his finely kept mane. Yeah, I guess he did put a lot of effort into that styling.
Well, he didn't.
Well, the stylist.
This is where we get the famous "Welcome to the Rock" as he opens the door. Highlights the epicness that's going to be coming.
Yes, but in true Connery fashion, true old Connery fashion, it's more just like...
That's called an accent.
It's not even an accent in Connery's case. It's just mumbling.
No, I understood every word he said.
Because
Well,
we
like
watched it with
90%
subtitles.
of the British accents, and particularly like Irish and Scottish, is mumbling. Yeah, there is a lot of mumbling associated with that accent. I think that most people don't really notice. Words tend to get smashed together a lot of the time.
Well, that's with any language that you don't know very well.
Yeah, but more so with anything from the British Isles.
More so with English,
Yeah,
which we speak.
well, sort of.
I'm sorry, which we done speak.
We done speak good.
We done speak good American.
Yeah.
So as they're, I don't know if you guys caught this, as they're sitting in the, tunnels, Mason totally makes a gang rape joke.
Yep. A good joke about prison rape.
But that he's not, that he's losing his sex appeal, so he's not being gang raped as much.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Well, I thought that whole thing was weird because if he's like in a secret military holding facility, he shouldn't really be meeting any other prisoners, should he?
He's been in prison a really long time. I'm sure he's had some interactions.
Yeah, and
They
military
keep 'em
prison is
separated?
pretty fucked up. There's a lot of more dangerous shit that goes on with military prisons.
Yeah, but for someone that important, do you think they would really let him mingle with the general population?
Well, probably before his, first or second or third escape, he probably wasn't in that high maximum security of the prison. I feel like they probably upped it with each escape.
And then he just had to do more MacGyvering. Did anyone notice the guy in the computer room? I don't remember if it was the baddies or the goodies, but someone in the computer room shot that it cuts to is just like pressing random buttons.
I didn't
Like
catch
on a
that.
console.
That's how you hack.
Yeah, they were like looking at a map, and he was just like pressing
Oh yeah, he's hacking the
bunch
system.
of a bunch of buttons on this console that were just like lighting up.
Wait, you never hacked a computer before?
No, I don't have the code.
That's hacking 101 right there.
Press buttons.
Yep.
In true action movie fashion, it's always the idiot with an itchy trigger finger that gets everyone killed.
Well, to be fair, you'd be pretty tense in that situation too.
Yeah, but it's always the one person that can't keep it together that then gets every single person killed.
Yeah.
And he, the general who is doing all this, really did not want to kill them. Like, he made it perfectly clear, we do not want to kill you. And then some asshole starts shooting.
That scene was way too drawn out. Because that situation would have been over in 10 seconds.
Yep.
And so we got 3 minutes of,
Just the
Yeah.
slow motion gunfire.
Yeah.
and everyone's dead. Oh, I mean, all the good guys are dead.
And cutting to just random shots of Nick and Connery in the tunnel still just looking at each other like, oh no.
Oh yeah, just in case you didn't understand the situation already.
This isn't the way we wanted it to go.
This is not good.
This is about when I really noticed Nick being Nick. Craziness we all know and love.
Less
Starts
of
to lose his shit.
Yeah.
less good speed and more Cage.
Yes, right around this time is when I noticed it.
When Connery's like, I'm gonna get out of here now, it's failed. He's doing a really poor job convincing him to stay.
But he does, so how poor of a job was it?
But it's just like, please stay. Don't you know this is important? Help us.
And he
Yeah.
does.
Well, because the movie needed to go on.
So this is where they find the rockets, and I thought was one of the best kills with the AC unit falling on the guy.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed
and then
that.
in case we missed it too, how gruesome that death was. Cage even says something about it.
He points it out.
That's the what was it like? That's the most that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
And then he goes. I don't know if you noticed when he went in to pull the rockets out from the case, he strokes it
because he has respect
for the long hard shaft.
Right.
So I don't understand how this toxin works. When he's explaining it, he said it's a poison that shuts down your nervous system, but the guy at the end like melts your skin off, so it does a lot. But the guy at the bunker was covered in boils.
Maybe that's their idea of melting skin
which
off.
Doesn't really...
Well, I mean, to be fair, his skin was kind of melting.
Yeah, but they didn't say anything about, like, boiling. I felt like they did one effect, and then they had a different explanation.
Yeah, their super detailed explanation wasn't terribly detailed in the important details.
So in video game fashion, we get the runaway cart with the slack on the rope conveniently tight at the end of the line.
Yeah.
Also, again, why does Alcatraz have a railway cart? And are they mining there? Because there's also mining carts.
You would have the cart like from the bygone era to like transport stuff underneath the prison probably because it's a decent sized island.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical.
Well, they have shit like that for other military facilities as well, and like prisons and stuff. They have like long underground tunnels and whatnot.
It's easier to transport stuff.
Yeah.
I just thought it was convenient.
Well, the convenient part was how long the rope was. Then we had the battle bucket scene.
The battle bucket.
Yeah, the battle buckets.
And when the guy's legs are burning, I was like, why doesn't he just jump in the water? The water's like not that far below them. And he's just like, oh, my legs are burning. Just like, I'm not going to go in the water that's right below me.
Because it's a Michael Bay film. And he's probably like, yeah, fire, yeah, just scream, yeah.
Hey guys, can we put some explosions on those legs?
Those explosions seem more explosions.
And then there were more explosions.
Yeah.
And then there's like kind of a weird timeline jump. Somewhere around this time, they're like 8 hours to go. And then they get captured, and then it just jumps to 54 minutes or 51 minutes to go?
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine there's going to be a whole lot going on in the plot line in that time, considering they're locked up.
Also, so they capture them. They lock a guy up in a cell that he has told them that he has broken out of before.
They probably assumed it took him longer than 7 hours.
Maybe they shouldn't have assumed. They lock him up and don't leave anyone there to guard them.
Well, they've got more important shit to do.
Then guard the two people who may prevent them from doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're Marines, they're not paid to think.
I mean, realistically, couldn't they have just killed Connery?
Yeah, they killed everyone else, but we gotta save these two people.
I mean, they could have kept Cage because he knows how to handle the weapons, the chemical weapon, but Connery doesn't have any of that knowledge.
Yeah, it did seem kind of unnecessary to keep him alive.
And they could keep Cage around just in case like something goes wrong and they need him to like disarm them, but Connery was kind of expendable.
His one trait he brought to the table was that he was able to escape the facility that they were currently going to relock him into.
And then he escapes again.
Yeah.
For the second time.
And this is where Cage really starts to amp up lunacy. When he's
crazy.
like going nuts in the cell, like just yelling at Connery.
So while they're doing this, the bad guys shoot their first rocket. Right?
Sure. We were all watching the same movie, right?
And it changes direction at the last minute. And then, the mutinize.
Mutinies.
Is it mutinies?
The Mutineers?
Mutineers.
We're not
Turn
ship.
on their captain. We literally watched it 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And they kill him.
They didn't really make any of the other characters very empathetic for the audience. So I don't think anyone really cares when anyone dies.
Did you not care when the main bad guy died?
No, not really. I mean, he's kind of psychotic.
But he said the whole time he was bluffing. So
Yeah, but he still did. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing. Don't point a gun at someone if you're not prepared to shoot. He still did it, so he had to be prepared to actually do it.
I still didn't want to see him die in the end.
Whatever.
Okay.
Although he did the military a service by weeding out all these undesirables.
Correct.
Yeah.
Should get another medal.
It'll go on his whatever they dress you in when you're in your casket.
A suit?
Yeah, his morgue suit.
Would have been his dress blues. since he was a Marine.
But does he get draft blues now? Because he kind of,
That's kind of a gray area.
went
Just like the
terrorism
military.
path.
Yeah, because it wasn't really announced. It's not officially on record. They'll probably strike it off from record.
Because he was such a hero.
Except, how are they going to explain to everyone in the United States that Alcatraz got bombed?
Weather balloon.
Oh.
Yeah, explaining dumb government shit to the general population isn't probably the hardest thing to do.
No, weather balloon.
So they have the final showdown. So
Well, no, before that, Cage goes solo and gets noticed almost immediately.
It was basically immediately, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna do it myself then if you won't help me. Then turns around and in the next shot, he's being seen by a guy.
Yeah, not a whole lot of effort went into the whole not being seen
Yes,
aspect.
chemical specialist, not spy specialist.
No.
Spycialist?
Specialist? Yeah, he wouldn't make a great Bond. It
But
would be
he saves the day.
It would be really interesting to see him in a Bond film, though, because that would be the most psychotic film ever.
Yeah, so he's like the Austin Powers to Connery's Bond.
Fair enough.
except crazy.
Without all the sex appeal.
Who's more disgusting? Nick Cage or Mike Myers as Austin Powers?
Mike Myers.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Myers.
It's like, who would you rather?
Yeah. Cage could be a good time.
Well, he was younger
Terrifying.
then too. Be a
Be a good story.
He is 20 years younger in this movie too, so he has that.
Is that
going
how
for him.
20 years works?
Yes, actually, that is how 20 years. That's how time works.
Wow.
We get the good Rocket Man line.
That was so bad.
I know it was bad because he had to explain his own joke to the guy before he
If you have to
killed him.
explain a joke, it's no longer a joke.
That's you. You're the Rocket Man. Do you get it?
That was a great scene.
It was pretty bad.
And he's running up the lighthouse tower stairs with what has been described over and over again as a highly volatile chemical weapon.
He does drop one.
Yeah, and then haphazardly sets the rest of them down. It's like, that one's gonna roll off the building and will be more than 100 feet from you when it goes off. I think you'll be okay missing one.
Nope, because he needs it for later. What's more brutal, that death or the AC death?
Ooh, probably shoving the...
Yeah, I'd rather
The
be killed
plague
by
ball.
an AC thing falling on me.
Yeah, probably shoving the plague ball into the guy's mouth. But
Plague ball.
it also didn't make sense. He shoved the plague ball in the guy's mouth, but he was close enough to shove his hand in the guy's mouth. The plague ball should instantly start working on him.
Well, he had the thingy-majiggy.
Yeah, he hadn't used it yet.
No.
And he wasn't burning or anything.
Well, no, because it went instantly into that guy's system. Because it was, inside him.
It was pouring out of his mouth though.
He shot it out of his mouth.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of gross fluid in that. I imagine it probably doesn't taste good, and it's probably pretty terrifying to have in your mouth.
Yeah, but it's definitely hitting Cage.
Yeah.
He should at least be shouting as if he's being burned.
He does seizure on the floor for a bit after he shoots himself.
That's because he shoved a 10-inch needle into his heart.
Well, either or.
And he saves the day.
The lighthouse tower glass was broken multiple times.
Really?
Yeah. It's they were shooting it up, and then they had shot through all the glass, and then as he's running in another shot, they're shooting it up and the glass is breaking.
Yeah, that entire scene was so unnecessary. Because the guy up on the roof, he's a trained Marine. He has a heavy assault rifle, or a machine gun, and a sniper rifle. He opts to go with the inaccurate heavy recoil machine gun to go with the clear shot. He shouts at the guy before he takes the shot.
I've got you
wastes
now.
all of his bullets, and then opts for the sniper rifle. Right, you do know what these do, right?
Oh, it's kind of like when you're recording and you press the record button and then you wonder how your hands work.
What?
It's like when you're recording
Is that what you're doing over there?
It's when you're It's like when you're recording guitar and then you as soon as someone presses the record button, you're I don't know how my hands work.
Fumble fingers?
So this guy, he was someone pressed go on the real scenario where he had to actually act, and he was what is these guns?
Fair enough. He
Pull
could've-
trigger,
could've been a
goes,
noob.
shoots. Yes, that's pretty much the end of the movie.
Well, no. So in the end of the movie, Sean Connery appears again, and he hands him a piece of paper with like a note written on it.
Well, before that, I want to skip back a few minutes. The
I
island
think we can do that.
explodes, and it throws Nick Cage off into the water, and Sean Connery knows exactly where he landed.
Oh, actually, I have an even bigger problem with that. They were dropping thermite bombs because that was the only thing that could destroy the chemical weapon.
Right.
Thermite would have just eaten the shit out of that area of the island.
Yeah, it would have been gone. That stuff burns really hot.
As soon as it touched Nick Cage, he would have just been eaten.
Yeah, he would have vaporized. Yeah, see what I did there?
I did.
I got it. What's a thermite bomb?
It's just
A bomb with thermite.
super high
Thanks for that
like,
clarification.
super high temperature burning material.
Yeah, thermite burns extremely hot.
But don't worry, it did not get the cells with the hostages.
Yeah. No, it detonated on the back of the island. We're good.
They made sure to tell us that.
Yeah.
So then he gets rescued by Sean Connery.
Who vanishes into the day.
But he hands him this whole time, he's handing him this piece of paper with this written note on it. I'm like, one, where did he find pen and paper?
He probably had it with him.
Yeah,
Pen and paper?
No,
No,
the
the note. He probably wrote it
Oh,
beforehand.
just in case I might trust someone in the future enough.
Well,
So I'm going to
or
carry this
like
piece of paper throughout my entire mission.
if he's dying and it's his last will, or
but
if he wants his out.
that doesn't make sense anyways because he was carrying that piece of what the fuck?
You
Piece
okay
of-
there?
Sorry, I'm pressing record. I don't know how my voice works. How mouth move? He was swimming with that note. I'm assuming it wasn't in a watertight compartment on his clothes.
Well, no, they also had plenty of time to dry.
That note was not smeared at all.
Well, because it was written beforehand.
This makes
Isn't that how ink works?
No, but if it
not
gets
when
wet,
it's just
it still smears.
dragged through water.
Not in Hollywood.
I'm just going to assume he found pen and paper and it's like, I trust this man. I'm going to give him this
It
note.
looked like an old piece of paper, so I feel like he had it on him for a long time.
Either way, we get to find out why he was in prison.
Well, it was one of the reasons he was in prison.
One of the reasons.
And this clue actually ties Nick Cage to National Treasure because this is definitely the start of National Treasure.
I can see that.
Totally.
And it is honestly, this ending it bummed me out because it was unnecessary. It made no sense. It didn't mean anything to the story.
It's the link into National Treasure.
And
Yes.
it's also, now we get to find out one of the reasons that
Yeah, but-
Sean Connery was put to prison.
But it's how lame is that? Like,
And we get to see that they got married. Woohoo, happy ending.
And they have a dog.
Oh, yeah. How'd she give birth to a dog?
have you seen Nick Cage?
Fair enough.
Should we spoil alert and say why he was in prison?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It was the dumbest addition. I feel like they were like, "Hey, what are we gonna say that he had found?" I was hoping it would be a clue about something on the back of the Declaration of Independence.
Well, it was a lovely movie and I enjoyed it.
Oh yes, a lovely movie.
Lovely movie and I highly enjoyed it. I always have and always will.
I enjoyed it as well for the first time. I don't understand the obsession that people have with this movie because it feels kind of just like a standard action movie.
I didn't know there was an obsession with this movie. I mean,
People-
I knew it was like a good movie. I didn't know people were
I have
obsessed with
told people I haven't seen this movie, and every single time they're like, "Oh my god, you need to watch The Rock. The Rock is so amazing."
it. Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, it's a good movie, but I wouldn't be obsessed with it.
I mean, it's
good.
it's a mid-90s action movie.
Which is the best era of action movies.
Oh, I guess
Well-
the 80s didn't exist.
Nope.
No, it's all about Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
All right, would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, I mean, if some
I'm sorry, what
moron
was that?
hadn't seen it. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I would recommend it as well. I'd recommend it free on Netflix. I wouldn't say you should pay to watch it.
I wouldn't say Netflix is terribly free.
I would say go ahead and get it along with your $10 a month subscription to Netflix streaming. But I wouldn't suggest you go out and rent it or pay to stream it,
I would. Worth it.
If you're into that sort of thing.
which we know the kind of people that are, apparently.
I mean, you could just run down to Blockbuster and pick it up.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry, guys. I forgot to tell you. We're recording this in 1997, the year after this movie came out.
Yeah.
Blockbuster's still hanging on strong.
Yeah, and what is this Netflix you're
What
referring
is
to?
Netflix?
What is this? I think you're onto something.
All right, this has been a wonderful movie experience brought to you by The Blog. Don't forget to check out all the other exciting content that's available for streaming and reading. Also, check out the no content that either Andrew or Angela has put out into the world.
Doing nothing with our lives.